climate. In business, the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair stakeholders call for drastic interventions to accelerate Zimbabwe's industrialization agenda. And later on in sports, the Zimbabwe cricket team record a first test win in 4 years. Those are your headlines for tonight. Later on, we will be joined by Joyce and Zane from our Pocket Hill studios in Harare for more news. But first, let's take a look at our leading story. Russian mining giant Rosa says Zimbabwe's investor-friendly climate speaks to enhancing cooperation between government and the private sector. The mining giant representatives met with President Emmerson Mnangagwa at State House in Harare this Wednesday.
A world leader in diamond mining and explored reserves, Rosa entered into partnership with the Zimbabwe Consolidated Diamond Company in 2019 to explore the country's diamond reserves. This Wednesday, the mining firm's chief executive officer and chairman of the executive board, Mr. Pavel Marinechev, met with President Emmerson Mnangagwa at State House, where discussions centered on its operations in the country and its vision for the future.
Посещаем Зимбабве, и сегодня
Mnangagwa, and we reported about the results made by our company, our joint venture company, during these years. As you might know, we established the joint venture between Rosa and state entity Zimbabwe Consolidated Diamond Company. So we established the joint venture in 2019. So two state companies, Rosa Public Joint Stock Company and Zimbabwe Consolidated Diamond Company, they work together through this joint venture in the Republic of Zimbabwe. So historically, we've got 40 special grants and EPOs since the establishment of our company, and we are conducting our exploration activities within these licenses, trying to find the economically viable deposits for diamonds and other minerals. Yes, and we already thanked His Excellency for the brilliant investment climate made in here, and we are ready to work in the Republic of Zimbabwe.
Rosa says that he is looking at doubling its investment in Zimbabwe by the end of this year as the mining sector continues to contribute significantly to the country's gross domestic product. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
8 commissioners of the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission have been sworn in by President Emmerson Mnangagwa at State House in Harare this Wednesday. The swearing-in ceremony also saw 6 commissioners of the Defense Forces Service Commission taking oath of office.
President Mnangagwa is fully constituted the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission (ZAC) after swearing in 8 commissioners this Wednesday. The development gives impetus to the Commission's fight against corruption.
In terms of our constitution, in section 254, ZAC is supposed to be constituted. We must have a chairman and 8 other commissioners. So from the beginning of the year, we didn't have the commission was not fully constituted. So what we witnessed today is the president has appointed 8 commissioners so that we have a full complement of our commission so that it can carry out its mandate fully.
6 commissioners for the Defense Forces Service Commission also took oath of office, with the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziyambi, explaining their role.
The Defense Service Commission, its role is the employer. So they assist on employment matters. And hence you notice that the chairman of the Defense Service Commission is also the chairman of Public Service Commission, is the chairman of Police Service Commission, is the chairman of Prison Service Commission. So the role is to look into the welfare of members of the defense forces, their recruitment.
SAC chairperson Mr. Michael Rosa said the fully constituted commission is set to propel the fight against corruption.
The fight against corruption is now going to gather more pace. Up to now, I've been working alone without the support of commissioners. We've been able to do well But now that I have a full complement of commissioners, I have faith that we are going to do even better than what we did. You are all aware of our first quarter report, where you found that we stated that we exceeded our targets. So we want to use that as a stepping stone now that we are fully complemented.
The new ZAC commissioners include former legislator Kindness Paraza, Shelton Dube, Chidoma Diwa, Betty Wenjere, Patrick Tendai Mukorera, Osborne Mutunja, Meme Rumbidzai Zimba, and former legislator Zalera Makari. Commissioners for the Defense Forces Commission include Patricia Bwerinofa, Okema Bena, Pedi Mugoba, Chipo Rose Mahere, Mavis Gonde, and Charles Klopas Muronga Zombo. Bruce Chawanda, CBC News, Harare.
The country's premier trade showcase, the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, has been characterized by back-to-back engagements which have been pivotal in positioning the country as a perfect investment destination.
It's been a hive of activity here at the 65th edition of the country's biggest trade showcase, which kicked off in Bulawayo this Monday. The showcase has been characterized by back-to-back meetings and business networking sessions. The International Trade Showcase has brought together over 20 countries and more than 600 direct exhibitors who are convinced the Trade Showcase has played a pivotal role in positioning Zimbabwe as a perfect investment destination. With the thrust of the government being to drive industrialization, exhibitors are of the view that the exhibitions have shown Zimbabwe's innovative capabilities, which are crucial in enhancing the nation's global trade relations.
We are looking the importer or distributor in this event, so that's why we attend this event. So whatever with the product that we have from Indonesia can available in Zimbabwe.
I've seen innovations around smart mining, smart farming, and also smart transport solutions. And these innovations are creating an environment that's fostering urbanization of the rural community.
See, every country now look for industrialization, because without that you cannot grow.
We are saying as Zimbabwe, we are open for international partners. Some of
the business deals that have been clinched in the past and continue to advance the country's industrialization drive, especially in the agriculture sector, include the Zimbabwe-Belarus cooperation.
We are happy to announce that we keep our pace of cooperation between Belarus and Zimbabwe, and we're happy to continue it. And we're happy that Zimbabwean people are appreciating our efforts.
As we push with our rural development agenda, we cannot do it alone. We must harness partnerships and also harness these relationships that we build.
The trade showcase has created fertile ground for the country to leverage technology to advance industrialization from a grassroots level. Lisa Masuku Gorida, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Meanwhile, young Zimbabwean innovators connected with real-world opportunities at the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair Innovation Forum, which wrapped up this Wednesday. The platform was an opportunity for government to amplify its support for youth showcasing their talent.
The excitement and energy around the ZITF is palpable, and it is exceeding through to youth who are exhibiting and creating what could be addressing national challenges. From sustainable agriculture to technological advancement, the innovations exhibiting what could be the future to the nation.
The Innovators Forum, which ended this Wednesday, has been a platform for youth to compete in modeling designs to meet industry demands.
So it provides a platform for us as innovators to get an opportunity so that we can upscale, and also it gives us an opportunity to network.
In showcasing our ideas, they get to explored, we get to find sponsors and all other vast doors that might actually open.
We are able to learn about other people's projects and as well as expose our projects, and that in a way helps us to widen our horizon, because you know that there's more out there in the world.
The belief in fostering a culture of creativity and providing opportunities for young innovators to thrive has been amplified by leaders.
We are trying to build an ecosystem that supports innovation within our spaces, and the Innovators Forum has presented such a platform where we can bring in relevant stakeholders into the ecosystem.
We will be giving focus on our innovations making sure that those students that already have innovations, we will be able to support them so that those innovations can become startups. As His Excellency said, he said he wants to see the innovations that have come out of the innovation hubs being turned into startups so that we can create jobs.
The passion, creativity and potential that is on display at the stands right here promises a greater future, and it's a glimpse of the greater things that are to come from the youth for the nation. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Stakeholders who attended the International Business Conference at the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair this Wednesday have come to a consensus that drastic interventions are required to accelerate Zimbabwe's industrialization agenda.
Record number of attendees here at the International Business Conference, which is running on the sidelines of the 65th edition of the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, attests to the serious attention that government is giving in order to deal with some of the issues affecting industry. One of the issues raised by the Confederation of Zimbabwe Industry is that the portion of manufactured exports which are actually taking place in the country.
In comparison, industrialized economies generate up to 5 times more revenue from the same raw material. And I was in an African country that exports cocoa. But when they re-import chocolate, take a second look at what we are exporting as Africa and taking to the rest of the world. At present, Zimbabwe's value-added exports remain below 6%.
Of import dependence across the manufacturing subsectors, it also means that our participation in the regional and global value chains is limited. And we say this because when we look at global trade, we now have more trade in intermediate goods globally than we have in finished products.
The Minister of Industry and Commerce, Honorable Mangaliso Ndlovu, made an undertaking to respond to some of the various issues which were raised.
To date, we have already received encouraging reports of improved production and increased sales from businesses that were previously adversely affected by the influx of these smuggled goods.
Meanwhile, the guest of honor at the conference, Vice President General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga, assured delegates of government's commitment to establishing a new era of policy framework that speaks to industry concerns.
As we industrialize, Zimbabwe must also position itself within the African Continental Free Trade Area, which offers immense opportunities for export growth and regional integration. Through scaling up industrial capacity, Zimbabwe can become a key player in the continental value chain, enhancing its global competitiveness and driving inclusive growth. Furthermore, we must embrace green industrialization by investing in renewable energy, promoting eco-friendly manufacturing practices, and ensuring the sustainable use of natural resources. I wish to reiterate that industrialization is not merely an economic aspiration. It is central to the transformation of Zimbabwe's development trajectory.
After the end of this International Business Conference, it was agreed that a compendium of the resolutions and recommendations which were made here will be designed and submitted to the Office of the President and the Cabinet so that they can be considered for future policy formulation. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And our main news continues from our Pocket Hill studios in Harare, where Joyce and Zain are on standby. Good evening, Joyce and Zain. You can go right ahead.
Well, many thanks there to Marilyn Gwenya for giving us that first stretch of the bulletin. From the city of Kings and Queens, we now take you to Tanzania, where tourism and hospitality patron, First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, has shined at the second United Nations Tourism Regional Forum on Gastronomy for Africa underway in Arusha, Tanzania, where she was invited by UN Tourism to be the guest speaker.
The First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, who is also the country's tourism and hospitality patron, continues to inspire the global community owing to his sterling efforts in the promotion of gastronomy tourism. Amai Mnangagwa, who was the guest speaker at the second UN Tourism Regional Forum for Africa, currently underway in Arusha, Tanzania, has been described as the godmother of tourism in Africa for contributing significantly to the empowerment of communities, promotion of nutrition, and creation of employment through tourism development. Various countries including Zimbabwe, South Africa, Namibia, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and DRC, among others, were represented at the forum, which was officiated by the Vice President of Tanzania, Dr. Philip Isdumpango. This is the second time the forum is being held in Africa, after the inaugural forum was held in Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe in 2024 in honor of Dr. Mnangagwa for her initiatives in promoting cultural and gastronomy tourism through her traditional cookout competitions. The event was a resounding success. At the second edition of the forum, Amma had a meeting with Tanzanian Vice President Dr. Philip Isdumpango, where discussions on how to continue growing gastronomy tourism in Africa were topical. In a keynote address, Dr. Mnangagwa, who was invited by the UN Tourism to be the guest speaker, said she was humbled by the gesture. She highlighted how a gastronomy journey was birthed.
We are all being challenged to tap into benefits accruing from gastronomy tourism, a pillar for socio-economic development of nations. Globally, gastronomy tourism is recognized as a catalyst for economic development and community empowerment, as well as a pillar for poverty alleviation. It is characterized by job creation, income generation, and fostering strategic partnerships along the value chain. I penned the concept of gastronomy tourism in Zimbabwe in 2019, following the growing realization that our culture and traditions were gradually being eroded due to cultural dilution. The shift from organic traditional foods to fast food consumption was not only contributing to a rise in diet-related ailments, but also threatening our rich culinary heritage. I then rolled out traditional cookout competitions in all the country's 10 provinces in Zimbabwe. In the spirit of inclusivity, the cookout competitions are now carried out in many categories, leaving no one and no place behind. The competitions present an opportunity for participants to share their knowledge and expertise in preparing traditional dishes, and yearly we witness improved, innovative ways of preparing nutritious dishes among our participants. The demand for traditional dishes has grown significantly, attracting health enthusiasts, local, regional, and international communities. This is inseparable from the demand for national fabric that I also introduced with the significant designs defining our heritage and who we are as Zimbabweans.
First Lady, who has spearheaded various initiatives that have taken the country's tourism sector to astronomical heights, highlighted some of the initiatives she is embarking on in a bid to continue growing gastronomy tourism.
To ensure sustainability of the gastronomy tourism program in Zimbabwe, I have introduced a Greek for She program, where we are encouraging women and youth to grow traditional grains and venture into projects, thereby providing key ingredients for preparing Zimbabwean dishes. Additionally, I introduced from the farm to market program, where I have encouraged communities and farmers participate in showcasing a variety of products from their fields. The cookout program is in line with our philosophy to promote heritage-based tourism, where we encourage our people to safeguard jealously our culture and traditions. In this regard, I introduced a program for boys and girls called Nanga Gota Ikliwa Forum, where trainings, practice of house chores, and discussions are centered on encouraging youth to uphold their cultural norms and values. This seeks to complement the cookout program, particularly in instilling the concept at a tender age, and to overcome drug and substance abuse, which has become rampant among our youths. With the support that we are getting from UN Tourism, it is our hope that Africa will be a gastronomy tourism hub where we showcase the taste of Africa to the whole world.
Amai Mnangagwa also highlighted how tourism contributed 12% to the country's gross domestic product in 2024, the first time it surpassed key economic sectors like agriculture and mining. Dr. Mnangagwa also expressed gratitude to the UN Secretary General, Mr. Zura Polokashvili, and his team for their tremendous efforts in ensuring that Africa remains on the map in promoting gastronomy tourism. A document detailing Dr. Mnangagwa's breathtaking works was beamed at the forum, giving the world a glimpse into what she is doing in promoting gastronomy tourism. After seeing the initiatives she is implementing through the documentary, guests were awestruck and they showered praises on the First Lady, whom they said was setting a good example. They vowed to replicate the same in their countries. UN Secretary General Mr. Zura Polokashvili described Amai Mnangagwa as the godmother of tourism in Africa, adding that she is an inspiration who has made remarkable contributions to tourism development in Africa.
Your Excellency, the First Lady of Zimbabwe, you are the godmother of this story. You created a new page of history of tourism of Africa. It's not only about gastronomy, it's not about food. And I'm very honored and very blessed to be humble part of this history, I would say. After 10, 20, 30 years, we will see that people will start, and they already started talking about African gastronomy, African food. And we are committed and we will continue this series of activities, and that's why this conference is important. That's why Vice President's attendance is important. First Lady is here. Again, these days will stay in the history of Africa and African culture and gastronomy. Again, Your Excellency, First Lady of Zimbabwe, we are very proud to have you like our leader who took all of us, and now we are here. We started to construct with Basque Culinary Center in Victoria Falls. This will be the first place in African continent where young generation will go and will teach.
Renowned Tanzanian chef Tom Owino paid glowing tribute to Amai Mnangagwa for her ingenuity.
From the documentary, from her First Lady speech, it was amazing. The initiative she did of bringing all the chefs together and with a common goal of actually creating African cuisine is one of the things that every chef have been able to love. And we believe that this is the biggest initiative of all the chefs in Africa that we should embrace and make sure that we carry it to the final end.
Chefs from Namibia said they have drawn so much inspiration from Amai Mnangagwa.
We actually want to thank the First Lady of Zimbabwe for taking this initiative, because personally I think it's a really great one to help the countries actually establish how great gastronomy can be. It helps us to see what the other countries have to offer, and it actually brings us together, because there's nothing that can bring people and countries together.
Director General Basque Culinary Center Mr. Jose Maria Izega also highlighted that gastronomy tourism is of paramount importance since it connects people to their culture and traditions and is also opening job opportunities for various professionals. Various dishes from different countries, including Zimbabwe, were on display at the forum. Delectable Zimbabwean dishes famed for their high nutritional value and medicinal properties stole the show at the forum, with guests from different countries jostling to taste some of the Zimbabwe's iconic food, including high firids and rupiza. Guests were also treated to hoa, goat cheese set on organic zhio, rapoko bread, and wild fruit jam compote, including madora cake. Not to be outdone was slow-cooked bream on rupiza with mufushwa wemunyemba. According to a Zimbabwean chef, Mr. Koke Thomas Gamani, Zimbabwean dishes proved popular with delegates from different countries, such that they kept coming back for more. Others even asked for recipes of some of the tasty Zimbabwean food.
These are mashakada, manushede kumusha. So we are serving this with beef and roast beef head with the fillet, with garlic chive mashakada, and also honey tamarind sauce. People love it, and people are coming back for more.
Amai's traditional cookout program started from the fields when the First Lady gave traditional grains and vegetable compost seed to chiefs' wives to further distribute them in their communities. It then escalated toward district, national, regional and international levels, culminating into a gastronomy forum for Africa owing to Amaim Mnangagwa's hard work. The event has grown to receive international acclaim and has been included in the United Nations annual events. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Arusha.
Talk about mouth-watering dishes right there. Meanwhile, the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, has joined other African First Ladies under the Organization of African First Ladies for Development in celebrating the African Vaccination Week. In a statement, Dr. Mnangagwa said the African Vaccination Week seeks to celebrate a powerful truth that vaccines save lives. She noted that vaccinations are the most formidable shield against disease that threaten people's well-being. The Mother of the Nation said the week is a tribute to progress and a call to action, noting that the continent has been on a spirited, continuous journey, vaccinating millions and changing the course of history. Dr. Mnangagwa highlighted the need to bridge the gap to reach every child and adult with life-saving vaccines, combat misinformation and ensure no one is left behind. She noted that the clear mission for humanity is to stand united in advocating for vaccine equity and strengthening African health systems. The First Lady said every vaccination is a step towards a healthier and stronger Africa. Dr. Mnangagwa rallied Africa to unite towards a continent free from vaccine-preventable disease.
In other news, the Grain Marketing Board GMB Kwekwe Depot expansion project is nearing completion as the Second Republic vigorously pursues its vision to attain national food security. Our Midlands Bureau Chief at Faraj Kumira filed the following report.
The transformation of the agricultural sector is on course, with the preliminary project to construct modernized silos in Kwekwe now almost complete, as constructors are now putting final touches to the grain silos. At the Kwekwe GMB depot, government has erected 7 silos with a continuous drying mechanism, making it easy for farmers to transition from the winter to summer cropping season.
The many innovative features that are here include, of course, the drying on site. Currently, we have 20 dryers around the GMB depots, each capable of doing 28 tons in 5 hours. Here we have a continuous drying system capable of doing 200 tons per hour. It means the transition by farmers from summer to winter, winter to summer is made much easier because they can harvest a 24% moisture content and be assured that their grain will be dried here. The other innovations, of course, are dust removal, environmentally friendly environment, and also with the storage in these silos, there is also another innovation to stop a stack burn, in that you have the ventilation of the silos and everything here is all automated, and this is truly transformation of the agricultural sector.
The Kwekwe GMB silos expansion project is part of the 14 silo projects being constructed by government countrywide to add to the existing infrastructure with the ultimate goal of ensuring national food security.
The challenge for farmers is to be able to ramp up production so that we can produce enough to feed ourselves, but also enough to build this strategic grain reserve. These silos, the 14 sites, are strategically located throughout the country so that in good years we're able to produce from our provinces and then be able to relocate to these silos, which are actually better for longer term grain storage.
The 14 sites under construction with a capacity of 56,000 metric tons each are set to complement the existing 750,000, with the country targeting a 1.5 million metric ton silo capacity for strategic grain reserves once the project is completed. Tafaraj Kumira, ZBC News, Kwekwe.
You're watching the main news. These and more stories are available on our website at www.zbcnews.co.zw.
Or you can get in touch with us on our social media handles, that is at ZBC News Online.
And still to come in this bulletin, we can look forward to some sport, and it is good news as the Zimbabwe cricket team record first test win in 4 years.
The main news takes a breather. We'll be back with you shortly.
Stuck on you. Ooh, obsessed with you. I'm obsessed.
With Showmax, your favorite characters now follow you anywhere. Download it today and watch the best in local, international, and everything in between.
Tel1 Broadband brings you the 100 Days to Win Big promotion. Buy your Tel1 Broadband voucher worth $30 or more at any Pick n Pay store nationwide and unlock the chance to win 50 gigabytes of data every day. Yes, you heard right. Each and every day. For the next 100 days, each TM Pick n Pay branch countrywide will select a winner, and it could be you. Buy your Tel1 Broadband bundle today at your nearest Pick n Pay and make every day a happy one. Hashtag 100 Happy Days to Win Big. The Tel1 100 Days to Win Big promotion runs from 10 March to the 30th of June 2025. Terms and conditions apply. Tel1, the future is better together.
Just over 6 decades ago, a bold idea took root to create a modest platform for local businesses to showcase their offerings. Over time, that vision expanded, evolving with the changing tides of commerce and culture. Today, the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair is a premier platform for trade, investment, and opportunity, connecting people, businesses, industries, and governments from across the globe. It's a space where ideas flourish, partnerships are forged, and the future is shaped. ZITF has driven industrialization, sparked innovation, and fueled growth. Now, as we mark 65 years, the legacy continues, stronger, more connected, and more determined to shape a prosperous future for all. Join us in celebrating the Blue Sapphire edition of ZITF, taking place from the 21st to the 26th of April 2025 in Bulawayo. ZITF 2025, Industrialization, Crafting an Integrated Economic Landscape.
Now this is banking redefined. Deposits done. Withdrawals easy. All in one smooth move. Sleek, chic, always on. Your new Stanbic Bank ATM is here. Withdraw USD cash anytime, any day, using any Visa or MasterCard at our new Zimray Park ATM located at Puma Service Station, Zimray Park Turnoff. You can also deposit USD cash into any Stanbic Bank account. No more queues or inconvenient opening hours. Stanbic Bank is a registered commercial bank and a member of the Deposit Protection Scheme.
Do you remember?
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. The Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services has for the first time embarked on a partnership with media organizations such as the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation and Podcasters in an effort to provide a unique platform for sharing information at the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, which commenced in Bulawayo this Monday. Let's take a look.
The 65th edition of the International Trade Showcase, focusing on advancing industrialization, the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services this year upped its game through partnering some of the country's famous podcasters as well as the national broadcaster in an effort to enhance the information sharing platform. This was revealed by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Mr. Nick Mangwana, in Bulawayo this Wednesday as he commissioned the ministry's pavilion at ZITF.
We are working together with media houses in a different way than we have done over the past few years. So in our pavilion there, we have ZBC. They actually have a cubicle where they are broadcasting directly to the audience from there. We have Transmedia, which is our signal carrier. They are also acting as an outlet for set-top boxes. We have one of our community radio stations and a community campus station, or campus radio station, if you may. Again, broadcasting live from there.
For content creators, the move is an indication of the government's recognition of the role played by new media.
We have a platform that we have set for you, our partners and colleagues in the media, what we call the Media Indoor. It will be at the gallery. We've held these, I think this is the third one. Well subscribed. We have lecturers from the media sector, players from the media sector, other stakeholders including media students and current media practitioners. We will be discussing all the subjects around the media and the development in this sector.
The government's commitment to advancing the media landscape and promoting press freedom has also been shown by the Media Indaba dialogue that it holds every year.
The Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcast Services is also considering, the new media. It's no longer only, to do with the traditional media, but also considering the new media, which is podcasts, bloggers, and other, players as well in the game.
The 65th edition of the country's premier trade showcase is focusing on promoting industrialization. Hence, the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services is exhibiting under the theme, Growing the Media Sector for Zimbabwe's Industrial Development. Lisa Masuku, Ugorira, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Rural development is an important component of the country's post-independence nation-building exercise that the government embarked on soon after the attainment of independence in 1980. Let's get more details.
Rural development initiatives are some of the major milestones that have been achieved following the attainment of independence in 1980, considering how rural communities were marginalized during white colonial rule. Having lived during a time where blacks living in rural areas were not allowed to build or stay in modernized houses, 78-year-old senior citizen Joyce Ngwenya of Cholocho narrates how unjust Ian Smith's rule was.
Smith wayengasevumeli ukuthi sakhele ukuthi sizakhale sizakhela nezindlu sibuyele kwezethu zabadala ezendulo. I-toilet le sasingelamvumo ukuthi senze ama-toilet kodwa ke esesukile uSmith sagebha ama-toilet sazakhela mntana makusela sihluphe esilalo sesihlalele nje kahle ntombi yami.
However, the attainment of independence brought a lot of visible positive development, which has allowed rural dwellers like Granny Ngwenya to build modern structures in rural areas.
Namhlanje ngabesibili ukhona abake bedlula ngomgwaqo lapha badlula bathi belapha nabesimeta bathi kokubuzoko siyawufakela kakhulu nazo indlu esidonsile yonale.
The concept of developing rural setups is also visible in the manner in which the Second Republic has invested in the construction of modernized growth points, resulting in stimulated rural economies.
This place have been given a godly blessing like other provinces. Because the unity of people within the area have brought this place to be what it is today. Unlike it used to be 2004 when I came to Cholocho, it was a dilapidated area. But now it has just changed because of the way the people they are united, the way our government is helping us to proceed with projects.
They've helped to reduce rural urban migration as most people now leverage on them to come up with innovative empowerment projects.
Njalo ke ngikwenza ukuthatha ama picture photo shoots. Into I'm sure sidlula i5 esikwenza lapha ekhaya.
As ama entrepreneurs nje ama youth sifuna ukuthuthukisa i-economy to Zimbabwe yabo. Then njalo lapha eCholocho sisikunanzelela ukuthi sebe abanye abadala sebefuna ukusebenzisa ama mobile cell phones.
Development esilapha emakhaya iyasiphakamisa kakhulu la siyabe sesifile ngathi sesikhiweni.
With this year's independence celebrations having run under the theme Zim at 45, devolve and develop towards Vision 2030, the modern structures being put up by rural communities is an indication that the government is committed to developing and devolving power to the people. Lisa Masuku, ZBC News, Cholocho.
The tourism sector's remarkable growth is creating several opportunities across various industries as the country journeys towards an upper middle income society by 2030.
Local businesses are experiencing a surge in demand, a development credited to the flourishing tourism scene. From stationery shops to fuel providers and to the construction industry, the economic boost is being felt far and wide.
Our industry is actually benefiting over the spillover because VIPFOS is a chain. It first starts with tourism, and after tourism it falls under to us as well. So one way or the other we're actually benefiting from that. Our young generation is also going to benefit because we're going to employ more.
Kana tourism inyamuka because vanhu vanozha kutenga stationary. Companies vanozha vose nobunji wavo vetenga zvinhu zvinji because vanhu vechinza zvinhu zvinji but kukawirijira kana tourism ikawirijira hapana zvinokwenda. So kana tourism inyamuka.
The fuel sector is also basking in the glory of a flourishing tourism sector, while the construction sector is implementing projects worth over 60 million United States dollars in Victoria Falls alone.
Tourism lapha eFolosi iyajabula kakhulu nxa isifike ku high season ngoba kuyenelisa ukuthi lathi esise mafutheni sinanzelele ukuthi imoto eziningi ziyaqala ukubuya kuba lama pick up ema airport kube labantu abahamba hambayo nje ngisho lamahotela aqasa kuba lama activity so amafutha abedingeka kakhulu.
The tourism boom is shaping a bright future for both business owners and the local workforce with more job opportunities and increased economic activity. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Youths have been implored to shun drug and substance abuse amid increasing numbers of young people in prisons as a result of this scourge. Tamuka Charakupa with that report.
A final year student at Chinhoyi University of Technology, Kat Tawanda Mapanda, was once the pride of his family as he was a bright student, a top performer and a leader among his peers. But today he wakes up behind bars at Chinhoyi prison. Like many students, he is a victim of peer pressure. While on attachment, Tawanda became a drug addict, and that influenced him to steal from his workplace until he met his fate. Today, he is not ashamed to share his story with the public, and his message to fellow youths is very clear.
For about 4 months, allowance yandu kuwana yaya ndakangenda kuenda nayo kubhesi ndakunotengera vanhu vabereki vakazozviziya kuti ndikuwana allowance vavati haona shamwari isati chakwanisa kuramba chikupa mari takuregera kupa mari since wane yako chidzidza kubhajeta ndopakatanga rimwe dambudziko nendau yekuti ndichiri kuda kudhakwa ndane addiction ndakanobapa basa.
Being hero worshipped at the base as the drug lord's meeting place is commonly referred to, Tawanda ended up in yet another scandal, a health scam. In prison, he couldn't eat solid food at a time when he was under medication fighting yet another problem, a sexually transmitted disease.
Solid food. Nenyaya yekuti nguva zhinji yandiri kutora madrugs handisi kudya ndikuswera ndichitenderera mastreets utano hwangu hwakanganisika huna chikafu chakakwana.
Behind bars, he is trying to rebuild and connect with his estranged family through counseling and rehabilitation offered by the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services officers. Tawanda is still on his journey to sobriety while also finishing his studies. His story is a cautionary tale, not just of a personal setback, but of the hidden struggles many students face and the choices they make. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Chinhoyi.
We continue to say no to drug and substance abuse. However, a 34-year-old man from Rishavane has appeared in court for allegedly raping his 11-year-old daughter.
Tawonga Moyo will know his fate on the 30th of this month after Rishavane magistrate set the day for judgment. It is alleged that on the 1st of January this year, the complainant was at home with her 2 young siblings. The court heard that the father called the complainant to his bedroom where he locked the door and raped her once. After the incident, the complainant was warned not to reveal the matter to anyone. The matter came to light after the complainant's mother noticed some behavioral changes from the complainant, leading to Moyo's arrest. Still at the courts, a 43-year-old man from Rishavane has been remanded in custody for allegedly raping a 13-year-old mentally challenged girl. Allegations are that on the 25th of last month, the accused person, Nicholas Mangenje, visited the complainant's house and took advantage of the minor who was left alone, raping her once. Luck ran out for the accused after a neighbor who saw the shameless act reported the matter to the police. Mangenje was remanded in custody to the 29th of this month for continuation of trial.
And that's our look at the courts. Taking us to a break, we'll be back shortly with business news.
Speed. It thrills. But it kills. Obey traffic laws and drive within set limits. This message is brought to you by the Traffic Safety Council Zimbabwe. Safety first. There is no second chance.
Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services brings you the 3rd edition of the ZITF Media Indaba on the 24th of April 2025 at the National Gallery of Zimbabwe, number 75 Corner Joshua Nkomo and Takawira Avenue from 11 a.m. On the 3rd edition of the ZITF Media Indaba, we are celebrating the creative economy for industrial growth with Comrade Phil as your moderator. Speakers include His Excellency Mr. Edward Kalon, the United Nations Resident Humanitarian Coordinator; Sandra Ndebele, renowned Zimbabwean musician; Limukani Ncube, the Zim Papers Institute Acting Principal; Sanelisiwe Ncube, Lupani University Lecturer; and renowned playwright Tabani Moyo. The 3rd edition of the ZITF Media Indaba at the National Gallery of Zimbabwe, 24 April 2025, 11 a.m. See you there. The Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, the real-time disseminator of Zimbabwean information locally and globally.
I love my boys. In the holidays, they sometimes spend their whole day playing soccer. They are my angels. I don't know why people in this area are always telling lies about them. But no matter what happens, I will always be there for them. That's what mums are for. New Aura Beauty Soap, for skin that glows. From the House of Zimgold.
These holidays, you don't need to go far to find the best entertainment.
Exactly.
All you need to do is stay connected to DSTV.
Yes, please.
Whether you're at home or on the move, make it a holiday to remember.
Lewis Hamilton leads on Ferrari debut.
Because these holidays, it's your moment to enjoy the best entertainment.
Great.
Thank you guys for joining us.
So get and stay connected to DSTV to enjoy every moment.
Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching the main news. Now in business, the need to bridge the gap between cutting-edge research and its practical application in industry has been highlighted as key to foster sustainable industrialization and economic development across the country.
The research
Research Council of Zimbabwe, in collaboration with the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair Company, held inaugural Research for Sustainable Industrial and Economic Development, an initiative that seeks to harness Zimbabwe's intellectual capital to drive tangible industrial growth. The highlight of the Indaba was the showcase of projects that exemplified the potential of local resources and cross-sector collaborations. The Quota project, set for commercialization next month, stands as a prime example.
Modified Quota project is a cross-cutting initiative which will produce the modified quota for road surfacing material using local material as an import substitution.
The platform is said to be a cornerstone that would drive a culture of research-led innovation.
It is a platform which offers an opportunity for robust dialogue, for the cross-pollination of ideas, and for the forging of strategic partnerships between researchers, industry leaders, policymakers, and entrepreneurs.
The Indaba also featured insights from China's own development journey.
By integrating into global value chains, we attracted investment, technology, and talent, transforming China into a manufacturing and innovation powerhouse, forming a manufacturing ecosystem unmatched in scale and versatility.
Officially opening the Indaba, Vice President Dr. Constantino Chiwenga underscored that it is imperative for Zimbabwe to leverage innovation and technology as key drivers for economic growth.
Zimbabwe has witnessed the transformative power of research in agriculture, with advancements such as climate-smart technologies and improved farming techniques yielding resilient and productive systems. I urge all of us here to apply the same spirit of innovation across all sectors, that is, mining, manufacturing, technology, and the services industry. We can't continue to try and grow our economy by our continuous export of raw materials. Let's beneficiate them.
Vice President Chiwenga was also taken through sustainable projects, including a solar-powered self-irrigator and locally manufactured lithium batteries. For Zimbabwe to ensure that it fully reaps the benefits from its innovations and research findings, a call was made for increased financial support to facilitate the commercialization of promising research findings. Yolanda Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The main news takes a breather. We'll be back shortly with the latest in sport.
Just over 6 decades ago, a bold idea took root to create a modest platform for local businesses to showcase their offerings. Over time, that vision expanded, evolving with the changing tides of commerce and culture. Today, the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair is a premier platform for trade, investment, and opportunity, connecting people, businesses, industries, and governments from across the globe. It's a space where ideas flourish, partnerships are forged, and the future is shaped. ZITF has driven industrialization, sparked innovation, and fueled growth. Now, as we mark 65 years, the legacy continues, stronger, more connected, and more determined to shape a prosperous future for all. Join us in celebrating the Blue Sapphire edition of ZITF, taking place from the 21st to the 26th of April 2025 in Bulawayo. ZITF 2025, Industrialization, crafting an integrated economic landscape.
Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services brings you the 3rd edition of the ZITF Media Indaba on the 24th of April 2025 at the National Gallery of Zimbabwe, number 75 Kona Joshua Nkomo and Takawira Avenue from 11 a.m. On the 3rd edition of the ZITF Media Indaba, we are celebrating the creative economy for industrial growth with Comrade Phil as your moderator. Speakers include His Excellency MC, Mr. Edward Kalon, the United Nations Resident Humanitarian Coordinator. Sandra Ndebele, renowned Zimbabwean musician. Limukani Ngube, the Zim Papers Institute Acting Principal. Sanelisiwe Ngube, Lupani University Lecturer. And renowned playwright Tabani Moyo. The third edition of the ZITF Media Indaba at the National Gallery of Zimbabwe. 24 April 2025, 11 a.m. See you there. The Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, the real-time disseminator of Zimbabwean information locally and globally.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Exciting times as Zimbabwe recorded their first test win in 4 years after beating Bangladesh by 3 wickets in a Sylhet this Wednesday. Let's take a look.
Under the warm skies of Sylhet, with the sun casting long shadows on the pitch, Zimbabwe stood on the edge of history. 4 years had passed since their last test match victory against Afghanistan in March 2021. A long testing journey marked by quiet perseverance. On the fourth day of the first test, Bangladesh had laid down the challenge, setting the Chevrons 174 runs for victory. The Sylhet crowd, loud and loyal, roared for their home team, the Tigers, but Zimbabwe, carrying the weight of years without glory, held firm. The two teams had famous battles in the past, and this one was no different, as every run was fought for, while every wicket clawed back the dream for the hosts. Zimbabwe's openers, young and exuberant Brian Bennett, together with calm Ben Karen, put in a spectacle, adding 95 runs for their opening wicket, navigating the Bangladesh bowlers with skill and grace. Each run silenced the vociferous Sylhet crowd before Mehdi Hassan unlocked the door for the hosts with the wicket of Ben Karen. The wicket was celebrated like a victory, and the noise rose as Tajmu Islam trapped Nick Welch leg before wicket for another Bangladesh scalp. Suddenly, from a position of comfort, Zimbabwe found themselves in a spot of bother as wickets fell. Tension gripped the Chevrons camp, especially after Captain Craig Evan and veteran Sean Williams returned to the crease with the weight of expectations hanging over them. However, young Wesley Madevere, who was solid as a rock with nerves of steel, who has had his troubles in the past on and off the field, put on an anchor boots, playing a mature innings, something the selectors have always called him to do. As the chase neared the end, the tension thickened, 3 wickets in hand, the bat cracked, sweet, clean, and the ball raced to the boundary. Madevere had guided the Chevrons to their first test victory in 4 years, and their first in Bangladesh since 2018. It wasn't just a win, it was a moment of redemption, a test match that will be remembered not just for the numbers, but for the spirit behind it. Lawrence Tuseda, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, congratulations to the Chevrons there, and still in that celebratory mood. The Zimbabwe Under-20 rugby team, the Junior Sables, have revived their Rugby Africa Batays Cup campaign after thumbing Tunisia 78-20 in their second match of the 2025 campaign at Old Harare Sports Club this Wednesday.
However, on our next report, sports bodies are utilizing the 65th edition of the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair to engage and court potential partners.
The Premier Soccer League PSL is back at the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair for the second year running. Premier Soccer League spokesperson Kudzaibare told ZBC News that they are using the platform to court potential sponsors while also engaging owners of the beautiful game.
As Premier Soccer League, we are happy to be back again at ZITF. It always gives us an opportunity to engage directly with the different stakeholders that we have, from our sponsors to potential sponsors. As you know, there are a lot of corporates that are exhibiting, and as a company that is continuously looking for ways to grow and develop football, it's important to get to learn from the companies that are here, what they are doing, and how best we can incorporate that in the Premier Soccer League, in our operations in our league, and how best we can grow our football. So it's important for us to be here. We've been interacting a lot with even football fans. We've been hearing so many great ideas that we think will help us as we elevate our sport.
Sport has been identified as a key contributor to the economy, and taking a cue from exhibiting firms is expected to result in massive transformation. Mchogozi Stube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And that's our look at sport for this evening, taking us to the weather report and Focused.
Good evening, Zimbabwe. Thank you for joining us in today's edition of the Weather Report and Focused. My name is Bawamaketa. We have a cloud band that is affecting the country, and it is currently active over the western part of the country, that is over Matabele North and Matabele South provinces, where it deposited some rains this afternoon. Now we're expecting this cloud to drift throughout the country and on its way to deposit some rains. Therefore, we're expecting some isolated thunder showers throughout the country over the coming week. Now, this should be mainly concentrated over the northern and southern areas of the country. Now, in terms of our temperatures, 13 to 17 degrees Celsius is the major range of our temperatures in the greater part of the country, but we're expecting temperatures between 19 and 21 degrees Celsius in our valleys, that is the Zambezi, Limpopo, as well as the Save Valley. In terms of our maximums, again, we're expecting temperatures to be lower over the central parts of the country, and some warmer temperatures are expected over Kariba as well as Chirezi there, that is in our low velds. In terms of the detailed forecast, Bulawayo is expected to be partly cloudy throughout the week, but some rains are expected between today as well as Saturday. Matobo, the same situation. Thursday up to Saturday, some rains are expected. Gwanda, Thursday up to Saturday, it should be active. That is, some rains are expected there. We are also expecting the same situation in Lupane, that is between Thursday and Saturday, some rains can be expected, but the rest of the week should be partly cloudy. Victoria Falls, some rains again are expected between Thursday and Friday, but the rest of the week should be mostly sunny. Gweru, partly cloudy conditions are expected throughout the forecast week with nothing much in terms of precipitation. Kwekwe, again, nothing much is expected in terms of rain. Kadoma, mostly sunny conditions are expected for the greater part of the week, and temperatures should be between 28 and 31 degrees Celsius. Chinoi, temperatures between 27 and 29 degrees Celsius, and partly cloudy conditions are expected. Harare, the same situation as Chinoi, but temperatures between 25 and 26 degrees Celsius throughout the week. Kariba, temperatures between 29 and 31 with nothing much in terms of precipitation. Mashingo, again, nothing much in terms of precipitation, but temperatures will be low, that is between 23 and 26 degrees Celsius. Bindura, temperatures between 26 and 28. Marondera, temperatures between 24 and 26 degrees Celsius with nothing much in terms of precipitation. Nyanga, precipitation here and there, but temperatures won't go beyond 23 degrees Celsius. Now, Zimbabwe, that is all we had for you in today's edition of the Weather Report and Focus. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Well, that caps tonight's bulletin. From the crew behind the scenes and all of us here, good night.
Good night.
ZBC Current Affairs, thriving for excellence and perfection in setting the agenda, shaping the Zimbabwean story and sustaining the narrative through detailed analysis and discussions, bringing to you polished live coverage of national events. We are ZBC Current Affairs, delivering